Sit. Excellent. No tone whatsoever, so Nero obeyed perfectly. Good boy. Good boy. He remembers the tone from earlier and didn't even have to, the way he was looking there, is like, okay, I'm going to listen to this guy. Okay, you want to shake? Good boy, good boy. You want to lay down? I know it's wet. You want to lay down? Nero, lay down. You're going to try to find a dry spot. Lay down. He's a good boy, good boy. All right, free. Good boy. All right. Welcome to RidgeLife. Today we're going to do a review of the PetSafe Adventure Dog Trainer. Now, we've also had a yard and park dog trainer by PetSafe, and the remote went out on it, and we've loved it, and it goes out to 400 yards. The new Adventure goes out to 800 yards, and you can put up to 3 dogs on one remote. So what we're going to do is, once we do the unboxing of the Adventure dog trainer, we're going to pair up our old yard and park collar to the Adventure dog trainer. So we'll end up having 2 collars with one remote, and the different buttons will operate the different remotes. So we have 2 dogs, as you know. We have Nero and Blackjack, our Cane Corso and Labradoodle. So we'll do an unboxing and review of the PetSafe Adventure dog trainer. Okay, we're going to unbox the Adventure dog trainer. Alright, we have a power supply which has 2 ports, one for charging the collar, one for charging the remote. We have a remote lanyard. We have a testing device for the collar. What it is you put this device across the electrodes, and it will help you indicate whether it's working or not. We have a belt clip. Alright, in this package we have the extra rubber ports for the remote and the collar to keep water out. In case they break off, it gives you 2 extra screws and 2 rubber port covers. Also in the box, we have the Adventure Dog Trainer Operating and Training Guide. In the main box, when we open that up, we have the collar, and it already comes with the electrodes, antenna, and the remote. The antenna just screws in the remote, and it comes with a waterproof collar. Okay, for the remote antenna, you just screw it into the top. And this has the extra long antenna as compared to the yard and park I had. This antenna helps it reach out to 800 yards. Okay, we'll want to attach our lanyard. Stick it through the hole, out the other side. And there's your lanyard. The extra charging port covers I was telling you about is here. Here's the charging port for the remote. That keeps the water out to make it waterproof. And here's your charging port for your collar. Again, it came with extra screws as well. All right, on the collar, gives you a little note to not let this collar be on your dog for more than 12 hours a day. And we don't let it on ours either, because these they need to be really tight against the neck. Not pinching in to where it causes total discomfort and abrasion, but it needs to be tight against so these electrodes can cause stimulation. Here is the belt clip for your remote. Slide that on, it clicks in place. And then the collar is made to where you can cut to length for your dog. Now we will need to charge this, both the remote and the collar, and then we'll begin the pairing procedure and do the test out with our dog. Welcome back. We've been charging our PetSafe Adventure Trainer all night long. It's for 24 hours. The initial charge is 24 hours. After that, it's just a 12-hour charge. You'll get 40 to 60 hours of use, depending on how much you use the tones and stimulation. So the light is red while charging, and after it gets fully charged, it turns green. These are red because I've had them off and done some work with them first, so I've got them back on. We'll show you how the programming works. So what I want to show you is unplug these. I'll come over here. This is the upper button, lower button, and side button. This is the intensity dial 1 through 8. And we can program these for up to 3 dogs with one remote. And you can do tone A, tone B. It can be a tone, and then a stimulation. So there's a bunch of different choices here. What I did with one dog when we had the first one with Nero, we did a positive tone, which is a little bit more of a muted tone and lets him know he did something really, really good. And then we had the stronger tone, which would follow by stimulation on the lower button. So upper button, lower button. But now that we have 2 dogs, we don't have that choice. So we have to come down to 6, setting 6, which is dog 1 was a continuous stimulation set by the intensity dial. Same thing for dog 2. So we're not going to have any of the tones to work with. We'll just have stimulation. So let me show you how that gets done. So we're going to do mode 6. Okay, so we know we need to set our mode to 6 on our transmitter, so it does a continuous stimulation on each collar for dog 1 and 2. So we need to go to 6 on the dial. And then you need to take off the belt clip. You hold the button down in the back, push that down with some sort of a pin or something, and you hold it. The light will come on. Blinks, and it's done. So now we're on mode 6. Okay, to set the collar to appropriate button on the transmitter, hold the button down on the collar, which is on the back, until the light goes out. Okay, the light is out. Now I'm going to hold the appropriate button down on the transmitter, and the collar is going to blink, and when it stops, it'll be programmed. You're red. That just got me there. It actually shocked me. When you saw the red light go on, it was stimulating me. That was, I felt that. So now when I push the top button, this collar is programmed. And you see that light? And it is stimulating right there. So I had my finger on there and I actually felt it. So I can say I've done this to myself. So now we've got this one programmed. We've already programmed our other collar to this button. It's the same process. We added a second collar. Hold that button down till the lights come on and blink, and they stop blinking. Push down the button that goes to the appropriate collar, and you are programmed. All right, for our final test to see how well these work, again, the top button is for Nero, our big Cane Corso Italian Mastiff. The bottom button is for Blackjack, our Labradoodle. He's about 7 months old. He has not been trained with this yet. Nero has used one of these since he was a puppy. We had the Yard and Park, the 400-yard dog training system, and he's all about understanding how this works. Now there's no more tone now like he's used to. It used to be tone and stimulation. So that's going to be a little getting used to him. So he has to go, when I tell him to do something and the dog doesn't do it, he's going to get stimulation. Before he had a beep and he knew, oh, okay, he said to do something, I heard a beep, I better do it. So, but Blackjack's going to learn from the beginning stimulation if he doesn't do what I say. So come here, Nero. Come on. Let's play with a toy. Play with a toy. Come on. Come on. Let's play with a toy. Come on. Come on. Play with a toy. Come on. Jump. Jump. Whoa, that's a good jump. Nero, jump. Oh, yeah. Oh, who's going to jump higher? Who's going to jump higher? Whoa! Come on. Come on. Oh! Okay. All right. Throw it there. Throw it. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? All right. Nero, drop. Drop. Come. Sit. Sit. All right, if I get you. Sit. All right. He didn't want to sit because the ground's wet. I told him to sit. He normally sits just immediately. You saw how he dropped and he came over here. I didn't use this at all for that. But I did have to use it for the sit. Because he didn't like sitting on the wet ground. This dog does not like wet. He does not like heat. He likes the snow, but he doesn't like wet and heat. So, but I did have to use the bottom button for Nero, just a brief bump, and he sat right down, didn't you, buddy? So, free. See? He was doing that because I told him to. So now Nero, or Blackjack, sit. Blackjack, sit. All right, beep, sit. Come here. Sit. See, Nero's already sitting, and I didn't even tell him to sit, Blackjack. Blackjack, sit. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was using the wrong button. Poor guy. I was just popping it. So that's why Nero was responding the way he was. I got it set on a low setting. So I got to remember myself that top is for Nero, bottom is for Blackjack. So that is my fault as an owner. I am so sorry. He was just getting a brief bump though. And this big old dog, he understands. So good job, Nero. Free. Okay, now Blackjack. Bottom's for Blackjack. Now you did not sit. Blackjack, come. 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 Good boy. Go. Nero, come. 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 Sit. Excellent. No tone whatsoever. So Nero obeyed perfectly. Good boy. Good boy. He remembers the tone from earlier and didn't even have to, the way he was looking there, is like, okay, I'm going to listen to this guy. Okay. You want to shake? Good boy. Good boy. You want to lay down? I know it's wet. You want to lay down? Nero, lay down. You're going to try to find a dry spot. Lay down. It's a good boy. Good boy. All right. Free. Good boy. All right. Blackjack. Come. He's a 7-month-old puppy, not been trained. Here, Blackjack, come. I'm sorry, Nero, I didn't mean you. Come on, Blackjack, come. 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 Come, Blackjack. Come. Come. All right, I had to give him a little stimulus, and he learned that so quickly. Now, typically when you're doing a dog training, you only want to do one command at a time with the stimulation, so they can learn that associated with that. I'm just doing this for training purposes, so you can see how the training works with the collar. But again, I would recommend just training them one command with the stimulation. And if you have the set up for one dog, we're using different tones and everything. You can do different tones for different commands if you want. So that makes it much easier. So, all right, Blackjack, come. Blackjack, come. Blackjack, come. Come. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, so good boy. You learned so quickly. He learned so quickly. That's a good boy. Yes, yes, yes. All right, we're going to learn. Sit. 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 Oh, good boy. See, he learned that so quickly. One bump, and he sat. Because he had seen sit before. Now he's going to associate if he doesn't sit with a tone or with a stimulation. So, again, I recommend if you have one dog using the tone, because that way you're not having to stimulate them too much, and they need to learn that your voice, the command, the tone, and then it follows up with the reinforcement if needed. And most often not, after that dog gets something, they don't need it. They've got it in here. So, especially these really smart dogs like a Labradoodle. Like a Labradoodle, you're so smart, right? So, all right, that's enough training for today. We got our beautiful Nero sitting here. We've got our Blackjack sitting here. Both of them are very, very calm. You know how a puppy can be, not very calm. Of course, he doesn't look like a puppy, but he's only 7 months old and still a puppy at heart. And of course, Nero's 5 years old, and he's a old, trained, wise dog, so he does everything perfectly. But every once in a while, they'll get a little rowdy and they'll do things, and they'll need to be corrected, but you can train so many commands with the PetSafe Adventure Dog Trainer. So we really appreciate you watching, and until next time, have a blessed day and go RidgeLife.